Hello everyone, welcome into game number 5 of this best of 7 set. We have here, oh, sorry, I gotta reset the scoreboard. We are tied up here, 2-2. Game number 5 we have here in the teal, SDA with the Malians on the other side in the purple, Raven on the Tatars. We have African reed beds. So, as you can see on this map, we have a nice pond here at the back for both players. Either side is a big hill with gold and also these indestructible Gaia markets. Probably won't see those be used, but as you can see, your starting base is somewhat open. I'd say it's fairly open. It would take quite a bit of investment, but you can full wall if you want to. Alternatively, you can just wall in your back if you plan on a big fish boom. Neither player picking the Japanese or like Malay or something, so I don't expect that. I still expect a dock probably from both players. I could see 5 on wood. Yep, Malian player is going to go for a dock, and I'm going to assume Raven will as well because we have 4 on wood. A little bit more than we need for a typical fast feudal build, although I don't see any docking, so interesting. We'll see what the plan is there. But yeah, so these dolphins, they are a nice source early game. They do run out fairly quickly, so you don't really want to make more than 3 or 4. Ooh, that was a very dangerous, very dangerous there. But Raven sort of misses the scout there. And as you can see, the dog is definitely later for him, but, you know, going to be about 2 fishing ships behind, actually maybe even 3. So certainly an advantage there in the early game for STA, but on the other side, Raven does have the nice bonus that the Tatars have, is that your herdables will last longer. They have more food on them. I'm just going to walk back. Doesn't want to pick up loom or worry about the villagers there. But before I interrupted myself, as you can see, it's not a lot of food. It's enough to make it worth it, I think, but you don't really want to do more than 3 or 4 docks unless you are interested in some sort of fish trap boom. And STA going to build a barracks here. A bit of an odd placement. Probably because we want to go for mana arms, a classic, of course. Every single game must be mana arms for STA. And on the other side, Raven is going for gold. So, probably going to be a fast archers play. Actually, I'll keep it 2 times for now. Fast archers play. Haven't scouted the opponent's base at all. Being extremely greedy, pushing in these deer. Going to go for our own mana arms. Okay, interesting. Not a bad play for the Tatars. Of course, anything that has extra food is going to be a decent mana arms opening. STA is going to look for it. We haven't scouted. We're being so greedy. I mean, this is understandable because we're going for mana arms, but still, geez, we haven't seen the opponent's base. Now, if you see your opponent's going to mana arms, yeah, you want to go for more mana arms when you are going for your own. So, STA will have the numbers advantage here. They do have, the Malians, they have slightly better mana arms. They have extra pierce armor. Of course, that's not going to matter in this engagement, but 4 will be better than 3. Double bit X coming in for Raven, and a 5th mana arms as well. But Raven finding a nice vill here, not going to get a kill. These mana arms are just sitting here. They have not gotten the call to go be sent into attack, and they are just sitting there. That is very sad. You'd like to at least, you know, go forward if you're not going to attack. But indeed, we do want to take the hit, or the fight, but there is a big hill. So I'm not going to engage with that. Instead, we're going to go forward. Raven's going to go for the double range. It's a little excessive. I don't think you need that at all, especially because your opponent can just make skirms now. But yeah, the blacksmith I would prefer to see instead, to be honest, but we'll see. Raven's going to go for the mill now. Pretty exposed though. This wood line has no protection at all, and STA is going to scout that with the scout. Still trying to find some damage, but we're pretty walled in. It's kind of awkward, but I think everything's mostly covered here. Both players do have the fish at this point. STA did get the fish earlier, and it's a little bit nicer, I'd say, for the Malians, right? Because you're saving more wood, so it's just kind of easier to get those out. Maybe find the berry vills here. But you don't have the scout nearby to block, but don't need it. Raven. Not really finding much use out of these mana arms. Couple of archers out, but no fletching. No fletching, and even we're going to get the infantry armor in. Damn. Yeah, now this is like looking real bad with the double range. We're not even producing out of them. Might want to think about a tower at this point to protect this gold, because we're not even on it. Need to micro these archers back, though. I think both players... Ooh, yeah, this is actually really rough as well. Nothing to protect these, but you can garrison them in current year. So, bit of a mistake from Raven there. Actually, kind of big mistake to just lose a fish there, but... Tower is going to come up. That will help us a lot. No blacksmith again. I wonder if this second range was a mistake and it should have been supposed to be a blacksmith instead. We have skirms coming with. Gonna have fletching and armor and a lot of farms behind. This looks like a really good opening for SD. Floating a lot of wood for Raven. Build a little bit off. Building a spear for some reason. I guess to deal with that scout. Fair enough. Easier to deal with. Even horse collar coming in. And I don't mind ST adding a few more men-at-arms, but if we are going to go that route, I'd rather see them go here. And I'd kind of rather just see go for a castle age here instead of too much commitment to the feudal age. That's like the biggest weakness I've seen. It's just a little bit too much investment into the feudal age, delaying our castle age time. But some nice aggression. This wall is up, but it's really low, and I think it's going to get broken through. No upgrades at all on our units because, again, we built a second range instead of a blacksmith. We're not even producing out of either of them, which is really bad for us. Classic STA gameplay, which is just send the units under the TC because your opponent has to garrison 9 villagers. And these woodlands are also pretty shallow, so we're actually going to chop through fairly soon. I'll have to be very careful about this particular tree. Might think about like making a single fire just to protect this. I don't know if it's that worth it, but it is about 700 food, so maybe. Gotta drop a staple, which I do not like at all. I know our opponent is on skirms, but that's gonna put us so far back. We don't have any food. Our fish aren't even working. We'll clean up this single skirm, but it takes so long. We will finish this wall eventually. But we're still not full wall. Did we get arson in? I didn't see it come in yet. No arson. We'd love to see that for STA. This tower does cover a wood line, which is nice. Push back the military on the dock. But it looks pretty rough. Again, back home, look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful eco. Even adding in 3 fishing traps. Very nice. Love to see it. Got 13 farms, 3 fishing traps. Even getting wheelbarrow, but nice, amazing skirm and arm count. Hope we just click up soon, then we don't add more military, because that's like somehow where Raven seems to get in a good advantage. We have a good amount of military now for Raven, but it is 6 skirms with armor and fletching. And how many is this? Yeah, 7 Malian man-at-arms. As you can see, the pierce armor is 3. So these archers are... Wait. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, they do 1 damage right now, but they'll do at least 2 with fleshing. But not having fleshing here is really bad. We really cannot fight this at all. Yeah, the fletching, everything's been pretty late for Raven. See if he can pull this one back. Looks pretty bad. Hope we just click up for STA. But his biggest weakness. But he's had a really nice game. Really nice games otherwise. I think we need a wall behind this. Yep, Castle Age clicked. No market for Raven. This useless stable. Scouts cannot do anything without upgrades, to be honest, in this situation. They can kind of tickle the skirms for a little bit and then run away, I guess. Okay. There is a hole here on the wood line. Single man-at-arms not that threatening, but it is causing some damage because Raven has to respond over here with the army. And the villagers are getting pushed out of the wood line. This is a lot of really good damage. And our range units aren't engaging. I guess we kind of can engage with it because of skirms. Now this is where the scout is going to be useful. Once we clear out the men-at-arms. So what is the option? Oh, I don't even have to guess. Of course, it's going to be long swords. What else would it be? I hope we start producing some more and we drop like a siege workshop like right here. Like probably should send a villager right now. I mean, should have sent it already, to be honest. Yeah, would love to see board workshop. We could also drop a TC. I don't mind because like everything's pretty exposed, so you might consider dropping a second TC over here. But okay, yeah, we're in triple barracks, so that's not going to happen. If we see a TC after this, I'm going to be very disappointed. Raven come over here for some reason. I don't know why. I feel like we don't need to secure this at all. I mean, we can at least drop a tower since we're on stone, I guess. Castle Age comes in. Not a lot of army right away, but it's not that far of a distance. Could also consider taking some of the center res here, especially as the Malians, right? It's not as good as the Japanese bonus, but it is something that is nice. Bunch of scouts out. Wouldn't take much to add in some pikes if we wanted, but you know, maybe not that worth it with all these range units. You might think that it's not worth go for a siege workshop with 5 scouts, which I mean it's kind of reasonable. See the second TC. I'm gonna assume that's really more defensively than anything else, but it's also a case where, like, look, I mean, like a single Scorpion, single Mangonel would help us out so much here. But hey, you know, we can force down these buildings pretty quickly right now. Did we get? Yeah, okay. We do have Arsenal of Squires. Scouts are gonna loop around, look for some damage, but they shouldn't be able to find much. Actually, maybe we could hit this gold. Kind of awkward. We'll see. We could just make a few spears at home. Again, I mean, this is so... We have such a good advantage. Like, why are we throwing it away like this? I mean, maybe my impression is SC doesn't even want to, like, look here, which is, like, fair enough. But at least if you're going to do that, flood them over here. I mean, this tower is not going to be as threatening as the TC, or even, like, over here, or even here. Now, I can relate to just sending units and not wanting to micro them at all, but, like, we could be a little more efficient. And if we put them in rams, then we could kill the TC and not have to worry about this. Anyway, Bloodline Scouts are going to run under the TC here. No upgrades otherwise on those units. Would love to see Bowsaw as well for SCA. Just help us climb the lead even more. Even though, again, like, we're losing a lot of units, but the lead is so good here. So, it's not like that big a deal. It's just, it would be a little bit more, how would I put it? Like in chess, it would be a little more accurate, right? If we were a little more cautious with our units. But that is going to be the GG. Raven's going to call it, and we are 1 game away from STA winning the whole set. So let's go ahead and get into game number 6. Into game number 6 here, we have Raven here in the purple with the Vietnamese. On the other side, Dravidians for STA in the teal. Well, it's going to be really hard to decide what's going to happen in this game, but if I had to make a crazy guess, STA is going to go for a dock in the back and spam a bunch of man-at-arms. On the other side, Raven thinking about adding a TC. Is going to get distracted and add 2 stables in the opening. Is going to lose to the man-at-arms rush. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We're playing on Golden Lakes here, which I think is kind of a bad map, but I guess it's okay. I mean, in the center, we have this cracked terrain and all of the neutral res. And it does help that it's cracked terrain, I guess, because it makes it a little bit less defensible. Especially you can't put anything down here, right? And it's a little awkward to place castles because you don't really want to put it here, but at the same time, that is the nicest spot. But I don't think that's really going to be a factor in this game long term. We have pawns here in the corners. Quite a bit of fish, 2300-ish. So unlike Cross, it's more like 4 lakes where there is a lot of res to work with, and you don't really need to expand to another one until quite a bit into the game. Dock coming up for STA once again before Raven. Vietnamese have no bonus for docking. They do have a bonus in the sense that their eco upgrades only cost food, which is actually really nice on a map like this. On a hybrid map, you want to save your wood if you can to make, you know, make a dock, make navy, make fishing ships. And I kind of hate this wall. It's okay, but like if we're gonna go for a wall this far out, well, one, we need to protect our villager. Quick wall? No, not quite. Okay, really? Yeah, really. You had a lot of time there, Raven. You could have brought your Scott back much sooner. Anyway, terrible walls being finished because this doesn't prevent a forward at all. Like, and it doesn't. This is probably like about the same amount of tiles to just cover more ground, but it's not that bad. A nice woodline over here. Anyway, I don't think we're going to see a forward dock anyway. That's not really what ST likes to do. He likes to build a barracks. I guess, you know, when you play someone like this, who picks civs like this, kind of like playing against Maxi, and, you know, maybe you don't even have to scout what they're going because it's obvious enough. But this time around, looks like we're going to have some nice walls. So unlike the other maps, I can't tell if this is walled. Oh no, look, yeah, it looks like that is walled. So unlike the other maps, we are going to have full walls, it looks like, by the time the man-arms come in. Except for like here, we could maybe run past the TC. We'll see what happens with that. We'll have to be cautious as Raven. Double lumber camp and no military production building, which I don't enjoy. I mean, we went double lumber camp. We didn't even go for 4 fishing ships. We went for a second dock. It's so greedy. It might actually pay off though, because our opponent... Okay, look. We're making a galley because a galley stops a Vil from building a forward dock, but imagine if we just built a wall here. Then that wouldn't even be possible. Okay, it's fine. Don't build a second galley. Okay, that's good. Build a galley over there. That's good. That's good. Oh, we're going 3 ducks? That's so insanely greedy. That's insane. Okay, so here's the thing. STA can punish this, well, one, by walking under the TC because Raven doesn't garrison the villages at all. We have to spot that there's literally no military buildings at all and go for a forward range, maybe even a tower. These fish could pay off big time if we're not aggressive enough for STA. We really need a forward range because back home it's not going to arrive nearly as quickly, and unfortunately it's back home. Only 2 on gold as well, so we can't even make ranges. Raven doesn't even give a shit. Doesn't give a shit at all. We're not making a single military unit apart from galleys, which is going to pay off long term. We'll kick off this fisherman. Now, STA should recognize this. We haven't seen a single military building. Haven't spotted this dock, right? But we know that this is happening. Also, like, but again, I only have 3 fish. This production building is so late. Like, this is so insanely greedy, and it's not even paying off for anything at all, to be honest. Because, like this dock is so extraneous when we're not even fishing this out super efficiently. You could add a couple here, at least get, like, fishing lines. It only costs food. Range comes, like, but it's, like, really late. But again, this could pay off because everything is pretty defended for STA. Or, sorry, for Raven. And STA is going to add more men-at-arms, which is the worst thing you could do. These aren't even doing anything. They need range support. You're adding more men-at-arms, which are just gonna hit walls. Like, what are you gonna hit? Why? You can't. Oh, there's no way this. Okay, there's no way this game works out for STA. That would be actually insane. This time we build a blacksmith instead of the second range, which is gonna be very good for us. A little bit awkward, but I think this is under the TC. Yeah, it is under the TC, so not a huge deal. STA might really have to think about gunning it here. Like, we need to really put our foot on the gas. We need to get up to castle age probably for siege instead of adding more men-at-arms. What are these doing? These aren't doing anything. Like, really, we can add a couple of archers. We're adding a second range for some reason. Again, only have 6 on food because there's nothing on berries. Fishing ships are coming out now. This is so, like, look at how much food we have right now and how many men-at-arms we've made. We could actually have already clicked up already. Dravidians also have cheaper siege. But here, we're just going to hit walls. I mean, this is good, but I mean, they already have, Raven already has a backup range, so this doesn't even do that much. Getting armor, which I think is pretty pointless for archers against skirms, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Let's check that math, shall we? So this is 3 damage. So reduce the damage by 1, but I mean, how much is the bonus damage? Bonus damage is 3. So I guess, I mean, it does reduce the damage by 1, but I feel like it doesn't do that much. But I guess at this point, you know, may as well get fully upgraded on your archers, I suppose. I mean, this is kind of like, I guess this is the slightly awkward thing, to be fair, like with the skirms, but we could also make our own skirms, which have more HP, which is a bigger deal for the Vietnamese. And this is so bad. Like, we cannot sit 9 men-at-arms over here as we're floating the res. Okay, we click up to Castle Age. The insanely greedy fish boom is going to start paying off, but I don't think we have fishing lines. We don't even have fishing lines, which is insane. But I hope it comes in the near future. Everything is pretty well defended, but if I see anything other than like at least one siege workshop forward, I'm gonna be very disappointed. But we could already be in Castle Age by this point. Imagine, look how far away Raven is from Castle Age. If we had Castle Age already, we could have maybe even like a Mangonel, a Ram, a Scorpion. We could already have all of that out right now. Look how far away Raven is. Like, we could kill the ranges, we could do so much, but right now, we have to wait. I'm okay with this because we don't want you to lose all your units before they get upgraded, right? But looking for a sneak attack here. Could actually find some damage because we haven't full walled on STA's side, so we'll see what happens there. Now you can see it's a pretty big res collection difference. Not even have fishing lines though. I do not like this play at all. This is like a huge waste of our time. We should be forward right now. Demo Raft coming in. Archers coming in. We have skirms that are going to be elite skirms, but they are not in place. Why are we wasting our time with this? Okay, Siege Workshop, amazing. Very good. I would love to see that before the barracks because we already have a barracks. So we don't need another one right now. Okay, we waste our time over here. Very good. We should really have the units right now. Here. Front and center. Really want to see some siege though. That's what we really need siege. We have to pull away from this. Is super bad. We didn't have the stone to add a tower, which would have been a nice option. Why are we down here though? This is not the place you want to be. Skirms, we're not on attack. We're on patrol. We do have armor and they are elite skirm, but they don't have bodkin in, so they're not like the worst thing just yet. Raven's floating a lot of res. No market though, so you can't really rebalance it super easily. We're wasting our time down here again. Okay, we haven't produced a single unit yet. Making elephant, alright. I always forget that actually the Dravidians, I always forget they don't get rams. It's just kind of sad. It would just be really nice with their longsword play if they had rams. But the cheaper siege is still nice, of course. This is sort of okay for STA, but Raven can honestly just add 2 TCs, which is the only thing he ever wants to do in life. So, it's like kind of a moral victory too for Raven, right? If you're able to just freely add 2 TCs when you're floating 1600 food, I mean, it's like, what more could you want in life? This dog may go down, but nothing is happening back here. Couple of units coming around for Raven. Gonna make the units get the Castle Age upgrade on the Navy, which is kind of a waste. Don't really need to hit these at all, to be honest. But 2 elephants. That's right, 2 elephants. That's what we got. The ironic thing is, I don't think they're actually any cheaper for the Dravidians because they don't cost wood. It's just food and gold. Second siege workshop coming forward. Okay, I don't mind the idea, but we're not even producing out of this first one, and we're adding a TC on the gold. It's already gonna be depleted. We don't have any units to actually kill the range units. No Scorpion or Mangonel. We got Gambesons before the second armor. I actually think it's probably a better deal resource-wise against range units. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cheap, especially for the Dravidians, so not actually a bad pickup, to be honest. We're gonna kill the dock. This dock is almost out of food anyway. Second TC. Raven is just like slavering for the third one. We have a market so we can sell some of the food if we want. 2 elephants have killed a dock and some walls, which is very good for them. Now, will Raven make the play? Will we see a siege workshop in defense, or are we going to see a third TC? Because a single Mangonel would defend pretty much everything. But we might see a third TC instead, which actually might still defend everything anyway. And should get us pretty far ahead with our food eco. We'll have to transition to farms pretty soonish. Don't have that much fish left. We actually remade the dock. So I guess that is some damage that STA got, which is not terrible. Mangonel coming out very late on everything though. You can see that like the counterattack from Raven was a pretty big deal because both of these players kind of struggle with the multitasking. Crossbow could actually find some more damage if they get sent forward, but Raven seems to... I mean, fair enough, you want to keep your army at home, make sure you're not going to lose to this push. But we'll see. But they could definitely go forward at this point. I think that's not a big deal. But will we see a siege workshop? Okay, we see a stable. Yeah, okay, I don't mind that. Haven't seen that many mana arms or any pikes or anything, so single knight could do well for us. Could also do an elephant if you want. It's just a little bit tankier. Where's not flowing a lot of res actually. Raven needs to... Actually, I think this is a case where you really do want to add a third TC. Look how much res you're floating. Ballistics coming in. Not that necessary against infantry units, but, you know, nice to have. Palisade wall and Castle Age. Feels a bit sad, but this is the wall that should have been placed earlier, so Raven's kind of honoring that. And we're gonna... What is this? We're gonna build a TC at the bottom of the pit. That's our third TC. Okay. Well, I mean, it does secure gold, but like... I mean... is that where you want to... Like, surely you go to this first. You get a castle up, then you go to here. Well, I guess we'll see. I think Ravens kind of has this game because STA is not really doing anything at this point. You can see how much little res. Like, what was that? Like a 6,000 res difference between the two players. And this, yeah, this forward dock gonna hit some fish traps. So, pretty big deal there. Raven doesn't have any siege of his own to push STA's base, but could still find some damage. 2 mangonels, 3 mangonels could do something, but they're not doing anything right now. Would love to see those start attacking. Ooh, yeah, these are crossbow with ballistics. So this is like probably the biggest thing you can get for ballistics right now with the crossbow is that they kill villagers so fast. Down to 32 villagers for STA. Yeah, game over right there. I think STA, I mean, he kind of did what he loves to do every game, which I kind of respect. But at the same time, didn't respect, perhaps didn't realize how insanely greedy Raven was being. Like, we had 3 docks up, we had 3 fish, and 3 galleys before a single, like, barracks was placed. You have to be brutal. You have to be. You need a forward range. You need to go up insanely quickly. The 6 extra man arms did nothing for us at all. And we needed the siege workshops way earlier. And then maybe we could have made something happen. But we're going to see. We're on to the very last game of this best of 7. Let's see who claims the whole set. Welcome everyone, we are here on to game number 7 of this best of 7 set to see who the victor will be of this set here, this series. We have in the teal, STA with the Armenians on the other side, purple for Raven with the Ketons, looking to steal a boar perhaps, going really far forward. Now, I don't know if anyone watching this can guess what's going to happen, but I think you'll all be very surprised when I say that STA is going to go for feudal age longswords with the Armenians, and Raven is going to try to fish boom in the center and not build actually any military until 20 minutes in. Actually, no military apart from a single galley. But we're playing on I struggle with that one. Longanati. This map, I don't think I've seen it played in this tournament so far. As you can see, the biggest feature is these 2 little spots, which are visible at all times for both players on their side. In order to get to the neutral gold, you have to chop through some wood. And you can't build a TC here unless you clear out enough space. As is, it's only like a two top clearance. So Raven is doing just that. On the other side, the Armenians have the mule cart, which is a pretty nice bonus. Makes it a little bit more efficient, easier to move around. Can be a nice bonus for this kind of situation. Doc is actually going to be up first for Raven. And on this side, STA looks like just going to go for a mill opening so that we can go for barracks a little more easily. Raven pushing in some deer. And hasn't pulled out the second boar yet. We'll need to pick that up pretty soon. I've seen it. Stone is also on the outside of the map, as you can see. It's only in single tiles, which is not enough by itself to build a castle. So that's another bonus for the mule carts. But again, I don't think the game's going to go that late to make that relevant. But that is something to consider overall. And Raven, again, not scouting the enemy at all, which is insanely greedy. Like, STA, this is not going to be the game where it happens, but you could definitely, like, play something weird. Do something odd, because Raven won't spot it at all, and that might catch him off guard. But surprisingly slow, actually, for STA, for someone who didn't dock. Actually be up slower than our opponent, but we're going to go for man-at-arms. I wonder if Raven sees it coming. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. You actually kind of want man-at-arms opening against the Ketons anyway. Usually it's nice to go like man-at-arms opening into crossbow with ballistics. Even someone who doesn't go for like arbalest or long-term. Really nice to have the crossbow against the bloodline-less cav units. They're pretty squishy. We're going for our own man-at-arms opening. Okay. Interesting. Now the Ketons actually have pretty good infantry. They don't have any bonus right away, but their forging is double. Their forging bonus is doubled, which is actually a really good bonus, but we would need a blacksmith to make that work. Just passing moment. Just passing moment. However, I think even with the double attack, I don't think they'd be strong enough to deal with feudal age longswords. But I haven't seen that engagement before, to be honest, so I don't know. These villagers should die, or at least one of them should die. Raven has not scouted the opponent's vills at all. Just missed this lumber camp. Oh wait, no, maybe we saw it. And now we're coming to it. Actually, I'm gonna drop a tower here. Back home. Do I like that tower? I don't like how delayed the man-at-arms upgrade is, to be honest, but just gonna go for some rasses. I don't mind. Pull them back. I'm not sure how I feel about this tower. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. It feels very defensive. Like, it feels kind of sad. Like, you'd much rather tower this, right? It's gold and a lumber camp. Right now, these vills can be ranged very easily by, well, ranged units. We'll see. SCA fighting back, gonna lose a villager. Just a villager, looks like. Don't think Raven's gonna find any more damage. Gonna lose all the units here. What's the transition going to be? Skirmishers are produced faster by the Ketons, which is nice. I haven't seen any pastures yet. We'll need to add some soon, as we're floating quite a bit of wood. Or you could drop a blacksmith. I wouldn't mind either. You don't need a mill to add in pastures for some reason, as the Ketons. I don't know why that's a bonus. It doesn't really make any sense, but that is a bonus they have. On the other side, very surprising. 6 man-at-arms about to be feudal longswords. And this is, again, like, I mean, imagine if we had a tower here instead. I don't think Arson's in yet. Arson isn't in yet, but some of these are going to be longswords, which are pretty dangerous. So I would have loved the tower here. The tower doesn't even defend this. This is a very sad mining camp, to be honest. This is kind of what you have to do for a ship that doesn't have a mule cart, but stone feels really bad to be mining right now. That being said, we have had the fish, and our opponent has not. It's helped make up some of the res difference. Long term, ST will need to chop through here as well, by the way. Like, there's not that much gold. We might be able to make something happen. Fletching coming in for Raven. Pretty late with the range units, though. Again, the macros just seems a little bit off for him. I actually think SJ would be doing much better if he just made less man-at-arms. But again, no tower here, so we can't defend this as easily. Skirms come in. Skirms, of course, are not as deadly to villagers. But they can fend off the enemy skirms here. Arson coming in. Ooh, this is gonna... Are we gonna bail? Oof. See, that feels really bad. We have to bail. We do have gold, so it's not like... We have gold right now, anyway. So it's okay. But this is pretty bad. Luckily, the range is home. So that's not gonna die so easily. This tower... We're not defending any of our wood. We'd like to see some walls to wall in our wood line. And doesn't seem to be kind of a repeat of every single game we've seen before. So we'll see how things transition out of it. Not really seeing a lot of keton bonuses either. Not a single pasture has been placed. We are making skirmishers faster, but we only have 2. We're not making any more. Fletching is only on the side of Raven right now. And this is kind of a waste of time for STA. We need to go look for more units or more villagers. We could have been here right now probably before this tower comes up. You could also... actually, do you want to force it down? I actually don't know. These might range each other, so that could be pretty dangerous. I do like to see the wall up for Raven. Only 2. Only enough stone for 2 tiles though. But stone walls are good against man-at-arms units. Again, not a single pasture. Because our wood eco has been really rough this whole game. On the other side, it's been pretty nice for STA, apart from the opening. Things are pretty solid around here. Adding in some farms now. I have double bit X. Getting wheelbarrow, which actually would be nice to have earlier, to be honest, so that our villas that are walking around a lot would be a little more efficient and just a bit faster. But yeah, Raven's gonna add some archers now. Would love to see these walls get finished. And what's the transition gonna be? Again, I don't like hitting this dock at all. Like, look how much... There's like nothing here right now for Ravens to defend with. This dock is like, it's nice to hit it, but there's only 1 patch of fish. It's about to be expired. Is Raven gonna fish trap? I don't think we care. You can always kill the fish traps later. They're pretty expensive. Raven's gonna come forward. Not a lot of units, but could cause some havoc because there's nothing walled in back home. Another weakness, or maybe I wouldn't call it strictly a weakness, but just kind of part of STA's playstyle. Because we're playing pretty aggressive, we want to keep everything at home. And it means we don't really leave any defenses back home. It's kind of like Jawalloping Chris in that way, sorry. He plays a bit more all in, so it can be a bit harder to get, your units out of your base into his, but he typically has nothing at home. So if you're able to get like 4 or 5 archers, they can do a lot of damage. We'll see. Again, not a single pasture. Really late for Raven. A lot of farms. No horse collar though. Market is up, so we'll probably click up pretty soon. Pasture's coming in now. These will pay off. No range units right here to defend against the archers. They can kill this blacksmith pretty quickly. It's not that valuable for us right now. Yeah, we have to run away here. Didn't want to drop a tower, which is fair enough. Might actually have to think about starting to chop through over here. You could maybe just take Raven's side. I don't know. That's questionable if it's worth it, because you can see that, right? Not really finding much damage with these longswords anymore. That's where, like, why are we adding more longswords? Like, what does more longswords do for us? These 6 longswords have sort of... It was like a nice opening, right? Did some damage here. Got 2 kills over here. Kicked away these villagers. But then they haven't done anything for the past few minutes. So adding in more longswords is not going to do anything for us. It just delays our castle age time. But we're going to click up a pretty nice time. Didn't have to sell our stone, which is nice. Gives us some options. We could try to sell it later if we want. We could add a TC if we want. Can't add a TC here though, unfortunately. Not enough space. The transition is actually a little bit awkward now for STA, I would say. Gonna have a nice castle age time. Again, although normally I love a siege workshop, I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, because the thing is, like, everything is so exposed back home. I don't know how you defend it. I mean, you can leave some skirms behind. That's not a big deal. Some elite skirms behind. But it's just going to be a liability. Whereas Raven has everything pretty secure here. Of course, the gold is going to run out. But in theory... I mean, this gold also not defended. But we could tower that if we need to. Ooh, Raven clicks up. This is, this could be really bad if we lose all our units right now. It's not great. It's not ideal. It's okay. We're out of gold. We're out of gold. We do have a market. We drop a tower here, which I hate. I despise that a lot, actually. Why is that not forward? I don't know. But again, we have another roaming band of archers, which is really good to keep STA back home. Who's gonna go for longswords? That's right. Actually, no, sorry. For Armenians, they can get two-handed swords if they want. Siege Workshop, amazing. It should be up already, though. The villager should be forward at this point. This tower comes up. It's kind of far back, but I guess we kind of have to do this. But if we kept our archers forward, I think we could secure a little bit more forward. This is going to be a really big defensive position, though. Siege Workshop is going to come up. This gold is forward, and this is Raven's only gold right now. So, really important spot. Might honestly think about getting guard tower. I don't know. I don't know if it's fully worth it, but maybe it is. I mean, look how far back the tower is. That's so sad. We'll see. This is going to kind of come down to micro here. I think this is a mangonel kind of game. You want to knock down this tower. Only gold that Raven has. Would love to see a mangonel before the second armor, because our men-at-arms, sorry, our long swords cannot fight this, but a mangonel can. This could be probably produced already by now, but it will come in. Raven, again, looking for damage. May eventually run into these bills, which could spell some trouble for STA. Oh. Okay. That's, I think, I'm not sure, but I wonder if we actually spotted this Siege Workshop with this town center. We'll see. We need more siege though. We don't have a lot on gold. Yeah, our gold's gonna run out, and this is where is your wood line? Raven's asking, and I think we have found a wood line. So this is kind of the trouble on this map. Like, we're gonna be out of gold. Okay, we do have the gold in the back, but it's not defended at all. And STA does call the GG there. I don't know if it's quite GG just yet, but I mean, it's still gonna be a hard game. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing that has like both done well for him and also kind of screwed him over, which is adding a lot of long swords in this case, usually just main arms of feudal age. Like, it was really good initial damage. I really liked the gameplay initially, but then we delayed our castle age time by so much when we added a lot more men at arms and a lot more skirms than we needed because they weren't finding any damage. Or even worse, right? They were hitting these houses, but they could have gone back before Raven got all this stuff up. And yeah, now at this point, it's really hard to play this game without some gold secured and some TCs up. And I would probably prefer Raven. I don't think it's GG necessarily right now, or I don't think it's like guaranteed. But fair enough, Resign. I think it would be a pretty hard game for STA to play. But congratulations to Raven. We will see him play, actually me, next time. I guess I will be casting that game at some point. I don't know. We'll see. I still want to cover the rest of the first round games, but we'll see when I get to them. And that's all for now. I'll catch you all later.